Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Hope everybody is doing fine out there.
Indeed we do.
And we have another video that will be lined up to do over on Evolutionary, time allowing, before we get to other work.
Yeah.
And so please do subscribe to both channels, Evolutionary Energy Arts and also over at EEARTS. Each one does have unique videos, and there's just so much stuff coming out in these times. It feels like every day is not just a week's worth of news, it's like a month's worth of news or more.
It is, and it's accumulating more, and it's very, very chaotic, and we like to try to bring some calmness and some sense to it.
Oh, we try to do that with a sense of humor.
Yes.
And we see a 7.0 over here in the Philippines. And so this was a pretty big quake. 5 dead, 60 hurt as earthquake hits northern Philippines. Shallow quake was measured 7.0, 7.1 is what I've seen. Collapsed buildings near the epicenter in the northern Abra province. And we send out our prayers and best intentions for everybody affected by this. This is one of the areas that gets hit by just about everything. The Philippines and Indonesia, if I had to write out an apocalypse, I honestly wouldn't choose either of those two places. They just get too much as far as earthquakes, hurricanes, volcanoes, potentials for tsunamis, which luckily this one didn't cause. But still, I mean, it's just kind of crazy. But yet, this is an area where you can grow just about everything there, and rich soil, volcanic soil. But, again, to write out the apocalypse, maybe better areas.
Yeah, definitely better areas. This is so sad because these places are so rich in all kinds of life force, and it's just sad to see this happen. These people just want to be in peace.
Yeah, and again, here we are. We grow up in certain areas. We get used to it. It's what we know. We get, acclimated to it. Unless you're a nomad like myself here.
Indeed.
But, they're still experiencing aftershocks. In fact, you could see them here if we zoom in. And this is the area that we are looking at. So, looks like I would say about 5 aftershocks in this area, and we'll keep eyes open on it. Now, what was really interesting was the buoys situation going on last night. Now, it's slightly improved in the Indian Ocean. You see, these are in event mode, so this means there's waves going on over there. And we could see, it's not huge. It's not huge, but this is because of the quake. And so, you're looking at meters here. So it's nothing major. There's been some unusual readings that have come from certain areas at certain times with, 60 to 100 foot changes in sea level abruptly. Last night, you had these two off. Everything that's red is not giving data. So in the Indian Ocean last night, there was only 2, one here and one here. And we were going to make a video about this last night, but I just felt like waiting and seeing what the morning brings. And, the morning brought a big earthquake over here, though. But you only had 2 of these stations, 2 of these buoys that were actually online and giving you any info in the entire Indian Ocean. To me, it's like, wouldn't that alert somebody? Hey, we better get something fixed here because we got no data. What if there is some sort of major quake activity and we don't know about it until the wave sweeps countless people out to sea? It just seemed kind of strange because I've never seen so many inactive. And the thing was, it wasn't even just here. So here you still have almost all of them inactive. You got 4 active in the entire Indian Ocean, right? Last night there was just 2. It looked the same over here last night. All these were off. There was nothing active last night between South America and Africa. It felt weird.
I would really love to sit here and say, well, it just sounds like somebody was doing some updates. Maybe they're just recalibrating everything. But the information that came in was that somebody definitely has control. Somebody knows what's going on. And they have the ability to stop and turn these things on. So they have the ability to make them look like anything that they want to. And it's not hard for them. And that was just disturbing.
Yeah, and as we see, like if we go and we look at at Europe, basically, probably 50% or better are online, but still, I'd say that this probably represents 30 to 40%. Would you say that are not given any data? And you got to wonder in this time when obviously we have a conflict underway. And we have a lot more underway. There is a war going on that's, going on against the totality of the planet. Now, I would personally be more concerned, and not that I'm not concerned, because it was really weird, when you're looking at that. And yeah, it could be, and we'll pull up Electroverse too, just to see, if there's anything going on geomagnetically. But, if there was a lot off the coasts of the U.S., especially, we've talked about the potential for those tsunami BOMBSs to be used. And, the scenario, again, is off of the coasts of the U.S. That could be what really is the opening salvo of that hashtag WW number 3. So let's just take a quick look over before we go any farther over to Electroverse, see what's going on, KP and everything. Well, it's not crazy. You can see over here there's a C-class flare, the KP, 3, 4 over here. So not huge. This is space weather. It takes us to NOAA. Nothing going on, no geomagnetic storms. They're only expecting a 3, so that's nothing big. No radio blackout area. So yeah, nothing there. I wonder if it's more hacking related. Maybe it is more hacking related. Now the other big thing that we got to talk about is the floods in Missouri. So hopefully all our family members in Missouri are doing okay and made it through this is craziness, the floods that hit here. Depending on who you're looking at, this could be once in 100-year, once in 500-year floods that just hit out of nowhere. Severe flash floods in Missouri, record rainfall, 7 inches, 5 hours, 7 inches in 5 hours of time. Water rescues down Main Street, as we've been seeing. Here you go. You don't try to pass under these type of, overpasses in the type of floods that we've had since 2017. Not a good idea. As this says, this is from CNN too. Rainfall this intense in St. Louis area occurs only once every 500 years on average, according to data from the NWS. Yes. Is it real or is it artificially flavored? As we see some water rescues taking place, looks like that water is probably a good 4 feet deep anyway. Looking at the windows in the background, maybe more. In the back there, you see the trucks, the cars are almost totally submerged. Yeah, this is St. Louis area, and look from above. The damage done. And again, think about all the crops that are being hit by all this too. Historic 9.04 inches, highest 24-hour rainfall on record. It beat by 2 inches. August 19th through 20th in 1915, which was the remnants of a Galveston hurricane. That was, this really doesn't happen normally. And of course we recognize grand solar minimum. And of course we recognize, the geomagnetic, the magnetic pole shift underway at all. But yeah, I don't think at this point in time, it just doesn't feel like that's it. It feels like this is absolutely part of the bigger plan, which is, you shall own nothing. We're going to gather you all up. We're going to herd you into these mega cities, megalopolises, where every single little thing could be monitored. We certainly don't want you in areas that have good farmland.
No, it's really unfortunate. This is such a situation where they're really pulling all the strings, and they're just creating everything to make it good for them.
And the weather pattern is stagnant, as you can see. So this whole area, whether we're talking northern Arkansas, we're talking Missouri, southern Missouri, in through almost all of Tennessee and Kentucky. I mean, this is, if you've driven through it, this is gorgeous area of the country. Gorgeous. And over into West Virginia, it looks like you're getting a ton of rain in West Virginia too. Hopefully everybody over there is going to be fine as well. It looks like this is primed for more flooding to come. And we were talking about farmers arresting a police officer who was trying to serve a lady eviction papers, way back in history, in our U.S. history, when people really just kind of, I think they had a little bit more common sense about what's right and what's wrong in many ways. I think a lot of people have become too influenced by certain energies. Not saying you guys, because again, 99% of the people that are going to watch this video are of a certain like mindset. And that is, we understand what's going on in the bigger picture. 1 or 2% that come and pass through, so to speak, of which probably the majority of that 1 or 2% are people that are just monitoring what we're saying anyway, because it's part of their job to monitor. But you guys understand the bigger picture. But here you have a group of citizens in Southwest Oregon that have taken the law into their own hands, literally apprehending a man suspected of starting wildfires in a forested area and tying him to a tree when he got combative. So an arson suspect. And you got to wonder how many people are in the country illegally that are working to take the country down from the inside. All those people coming across the border, illegally. 90%, maybe 95, maybe 99% of them are really just looking to better themselves, just looking to, give their family more opportunity. But even if it's 1%, when you're talking millions that have come across the border that really have something else in mind, you're talking a ton of people.
Yeah, you're talking a whole lot of opportunity to create chaos.
You're talking an army inside this country, ready to do whatever they can to take it down. And this meteor, or whatever it was over Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, as you could see it. Certainly has kind of a ship feel, as we've said. What would you say?
It did have a ship kind of feel, almost like they were using the atmosphere around them to create something.
Spain, another stunning one. Almost looks like it's turning into a string of pearls.
Beautiful.
And then this one was in South America, Uruguay, Argentina, another one. Lots and lots of meteors. Every day there's something that they're just saying is meteors coming down. Yeah. So we started to do this video. We were going to put this up yesterday, and then it got cut off midstream. We pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover. So we're going to include it as part of this video that we're doing right now. And this is all about boosting the immune system, because again, right now, all you're going to get from the official sources is go see your M.D. Go see your DR. Yeah, and they'll tell you what you should be doing. When, again, we've covered how little, if any, nutritional schooling is needed for DRs. And it's staggering, and we covered that. We've shown, they don't have to really know anything much about nutrition. And that's just insanity, because you're going to these people for advice, and what are they trained in? Chemicals. Not nutrition, chemicals. When nature can take care of almost all imbalances if we do things naturally. So we're going to play this for you guys, and this is all about how we supplement, what we supplement with. Let your food be your healing, right?
Yeah, and definitely a financially easier way to do things too.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, there's reasons why the system is the way it is. And right now, they are seriously coming hard against anything that goes against the system. And, they have it set up perfectly to loop you into, basically this circle that spirals, but it spirals into the ground, if you know what I mean. It spirals into the ground. If you're not taking care of your immune system in these times, it's going to be really hard to get through these times. It really is, because it doesn't matter if you did something yourself, you're still getting exposed on a daily basis to all sorts of pathogens. It's just inevitable. So we have to constantly be detoxing. There's 2 points. Detox, boost your immune system. Boost your immune system, detox. These have to be a daily thing, and Cindy and I do on a regular basis. And I'm very kind of proud at what we've done. Especially just recently, we've kind of taken things to a new level, and also in our sustainability. As yesterday, I made some homemade organic bread. Of course, we don't eat a ton of bread. But again, we have things for the long haul. So we have, enough flour to last a few years. And we do have Mylar bags. And we do have enough rice, beans, and lentils, again, for us that will last us years. And again, you can long-term storage things by, again, putting them into Mylar bags. If you could get the Mylar bags, because again, they're starting to take away your ability to do things like that. And, we've kind of got ourselves triple layered. And one of the things that I have no qualms spending money on is all sorts of things that are going to boost your immune system and help fight inflammation, help you detox naturally. So I always look in terms of, what's going to give me the best bang for the buck nutritionally, what's going to support my immune system. And then we just make creative ways to make it all taste good.
Mm-hmm. We do. And, it does take some time and effort, but boy, oh boy, is it worth it.
Absolutely. So please do listen, learn something. And I hope we actually end up saving some lives here with some of this knowledge that then you can go and share with others. And again, YouTube and Google, you could search and you could find lots of great authorities. There's so many people that have great ideas out there. If you're getting the inclination to do some fasting, again, Dr. Mindy Pelz is a good way to go. She covers everything when it comes to fasting, and is an incredible resource. And we implement fasting, whether it's intermittent fasting, water fasting, juice fasting, there's dry fasting. Again, there's all different types of fasting. And one of our family members just went through a 42-day fast. Go, Bill. Go, Bill.
Go, Bill.
And again, it was specific to some things that he was combating. And again, the medical industry would tell him, as they've told so many people, you're never going to do this again. Or, they give you this prognosis, which in many cases is like saying you have one foot in the grave and there's nothing you could do about it. And the reality is, screw you. That's not the case at all. It's all about intention. It's about will. It's about knowledge based in, Mother Nature's bounty, because everything is set up to help us survive naturally. It's the system that makes things incongruous.
Yeah, it's a pretty nasty system.
Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So it's been a little while since we've talked about basically boosting your immune system going into these times. So many people are, they're thinking about like long-term food, and that's good. That's a good thing. Unfortunately, what's happening is that many people are now shifting to not buying organic because they feel that they can't afford to. And not just that. We understand that organic doesn't necessarily mean it is organic in this world where they're trying to get us every time we turn around. Part of what's going on right now with the economic situation and the shortages is it's basically it's impacting our health, and that's part of the whole purpose, is to impact our health, to give us less options, to keep us nutritionally sound, and to also make some things that can really, really help us in our health just kind of be hard to get and out of reach price-wise. If you are buying things like this, pre-pilled, so to speak, in packages, capsules, 100 capsules, 30 capsules, it could be cost prohibitive. It really, really can. And one thing that Cindy's been doing for a long time, which I'm so grateful for her fastidiousness, just her ability to just sit there and for a long time just put together these capsules. So we buy these capsules in bulk. That one's a bag of 1,000 of them, 1,000 capsules. When you buy those, you buy these pill trays, and then you buy in bulk, like take turmeric. These are 5-pound bags. So, we have about 5 of those that really, if we bought like 5 of these little 120 vegetarian capsule pre-loaded bottles, it would cost pretty much the same almost as buying like 20 pounds of turmeric. When you think about it in that sense, it's almost insanity, but it's something that people don't necessarily think of right off the top of their head.
Mm-hmm. And, there's a couple things we need to know when we're making capsules. Like, those are double O. And that's a size that I can take. So there's different sizes. So if you do get the pill makers, you want to make sure the pill makers size matches with your capsule size. And then when I do make the turmeric, I put a little pepper in there. I just take the pepper, grind it, and I put it in the capsules because it helps absorb. So turmeric has been known to not absorb very well, but it's extremely, extremely healing. And I do that with ginger. And I just sort of do it wherever I can because really it's just saving money. It's something that just continuously saves money. And then you also know what you're getting. So I get the capsules. They're vegetarian. They're non-GMO. I know I'm taking something good there. And when we get the things in bulk, we get those that are also organic. So there's a couple of things that I'm getting that I know that I'm getting, and I know what I'm taking, and I just stick with those. So I find something that works, and then I just hang with it. So maybe those are some things that'll help you guys.
Absolutely. Like I pulled up the first one that I'm just on Amazon. I just pulled up the very first thing. And it's a 60 count of turmeric, organic, for $39.20. 60 capsules. That's nothing. And that's expensive. $39.20? And if I go and say, let me see what I could get them for now, because I bought so much stuff a while ago and got really, really good deals compared to what they're running now. Okay, 5 pounds of turmeric, organic, $25.49. So you could buy 60 capsules. That's only going to be a few ounces of actual material for $39, or you could buy 25 pounds. I'm sorry, 5 pounds for $25. $5 a pound. That's pretty damn good. It makes all the sense in the world to load your own. Or, you could just add it like we do to shakes. So we had a shake so far today made with watermelon from the backyard and fresh ginger root and some organic celery and some organic apples and nectarines, and then aloe vera juice. And to that, I added a bunch of the usual things like spirulina, chlorella, organic barley powder, collagen, some organic protein. Like we had bought earlier and gotten a great deal by today's standards on some organic grass-fed whey protein. I think I got them for about $49 each. I bought like 6 of them because I knew things were going to go crazy. And then I also got some naked pea protein. Again, nowadays, the way things are going, food is currency. Absolutely. You see the coconut oil over there on the side. We buy the big buckets of the coconut oil as well, organic. Because for our toothpaste, we just simply take coconut oil, add organic, what's that, sodium-free?
Yep.
Sodium-free baking soda.
Aluminum-free.
Aluminum-free, I should say. Aluminum-free baking soda, which we buy in bulk too. And then tea tree oil, and we'll add a little clove, and we'll add peppermint essential oil, and that's basically our toothpaste. And my teeth have done better now than they did when I was on. I've been using my own toothpaste for 10 years, and it's made all the difference in the world. I used to have sensitive teeth. They're not sensitive anymore. And I haven't had a cavity since I was like 11. So again, so much is about what we put in our body. Again, I think the reason why there are so many cavities is people are still drinking sodas and just taking into their body just these horrible substances that will kind of rot us from the inside out and certainly rot teeth. So yes, we also would add Siberian ginseng, ginger, as we talked about, cloves, as far as adding to our shakes that we take in on a regular basis. Moringa as well, maca. So we buy all this. I'm always buying it in bulk. I never buy just one bag. And I try to stock up. I look at the dates. Most stuff is good for 2-3 years anyway. You could always Mylar bag stuff and it's going to last a lot longer. Ginger, we use a ton of ginger as well, and we use the ginger and the turmeric in the dog's food, as we had told you guys about before too. Mesquite is something I just came into because our dear friend Rosemary, who is a naturopath over in Australia, sent us this stuff from Australia that was really, really good. And it's not available here, but I looked at the ingredients in it, and I could get all the ingredients, but I couldn't get that particular product itself. And one of the things in it was mesquite, and also lucuma powder, and organic camu camu. And those also have amazing health benefits. This cacao powder, it's like 10 pounds of it there. Wormwood is cancer fighting. Wormwood, black walnut hulls, and what was the third one to that?
The wormwood, black walnut hulls,
and cloves. Those 3 things together get rid of almost all parasites. Very, very powerful cleanse there. We do add collagen in as well, and there's some black walnut hull powder that you could put in a capsule. We also have it in liquid form. Maca. Again, everything. When I get them, I usually get multiples, and I just put in organic in bulk and see what I could find out there. Most of this stuff we've had for a while, as I went really heavy, like 6 months ago. Even earlier than that. I really stocked up. As soon as we got to the house, and we had a place to store things, then we stocked up big time, because everything like these powders, the organic grass-fed whey one, now when I look, they're mostly around $90, $95. And again, I paid like $49. And we add those to the dog food too. So if it got to the point where the dogs couldn't have fresh meat, They could have rice and beans and lentils and things like that, fresh veggies. And then we could add in taurine, because dogs need taurine. And we do supplement with the protein powder, and they can take in whey. And actually, Cindy just made a batch of their cookies that they absolutely love. And let me hand it to you.
Yes, yes, yes. They do love their cookies. In fact, Cedar went on a protest for a while that she said she only wanted cookies. So these are the cookies, and I need something to practice on baking, and the dogs just simply love it. So I always feel good about that. Mike's the cook in the house, but I do the cookies. One thing that I do like to talk about when we're talking about healing in an organic way is, if you're just getting into this, trying different herbs, different remedies. If you're not feeling well, what we have to do before we start on things that are natural is make sure we're not taking in a lot of sugar. The body needs to start to be void of that sugar, because the cells will not be able to absorb the really good stuff if they're already full of processed sugars. And many times, once we do that, just void the sugar out of our lives, that's going to help a lot. I mean, you might get 70-80% better just by getting the sugar out of your body. And then that way you kind of know more of what you're looking at, more of what you're dealing with if you're not doing too well. And so many of us healers, we learn by doing, and boy, it can be hard work, but we learn, and then we send that information off to others. And this is Mike's making some really good naan. That is so good. It's on a what's that plate called again?
Oh, this is a stone, like a baking stone.
Baking stone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a baking stone that's been very well used. And again, we've tried different things in different places, and we've lived in the RV for a period of time. But just to give you an idea, like today so far we had a shake loaded with nutrients. Again, think in terms of nutrients. Don't necessarily think always about your calories, your macros, like with survivalists and survival foods. So often, if you look at the ingredients in these survival foods, sure, they're going to say, 2,000 calories, enough to supply the needs of a full-grown adult. But what's the nutrition? The nutrition might be sorely lacking, and it probably is with most of the stuff out there. You have to look at the nutrition. So when we have a shake like that, and we add some of the protein powder in, we're getting all the amino acids, and today we're going to have fresh hummus. So again, I got chickpeas that we bought in bulk, and so whenever I get down, so there's only one or two backups, I always order 2 or 3 more, just because it's only going to get more expensive. Things are only going to get more expensive, and I always think in terms of nutritional value. So I'm going to be making hummus, and we're going to add to the chickpeas some sesame oil, and we'll add in some garlic, and we'll add in lemon juice, and I don't know, let's see what else we smoke. We might add a little bit of smoked paprika. Paprika is another spice that we really like. Good organic smoked paprika. I'll usually buy that in like a 5-pound bag. Same thing as cumin. We cook a lot of Mexican. The way I look at it is, if I got rice, beans, and lentils, as long as I have spices, so, we can mix things up long term and add some fresh veggies to it, we'll be okay. And again, you really could live off of 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of lentils, and some fresh veggies, especially if you have backup in things like this that are really going to boost the immune system. The guides came across and they told us turmeric, because everything that's going on out there is causing a couple of things. We know that there's an awful lot of people that are suddenly leaving this planet at a very young age. We were talking to one of our dearest beloved sisters out there, and we send healing energy to her family. they've been just going through losing people they know left and right, and they were talking about a coworker that again, prime of life, all of a sudden not feeling quite right. Doctors say you have cancer everywhere. It's everywhere in your body. It's all over. Where did it come from? How did it spread so fast? Well, you guys tell us. What do you think's going on that would spread cancer so fast, as well as give people heart attacks and strokes and all sorts of other inflammatory conditions? So, turmeric and ginger, anti-inflammatory, absolutely. These are musts. We need to be taking these into our body every day, and it's not hard. Whether you like spicy quote unquote food or not, you can always just put them in the pill form and take them, and they're so good for you. This is a jar of cloves that we have that you can ground down, but we do also have it cloves in powder as well as liquid form, and we do add it to the dogs. The dogs could have cloves. The dogs could have maca. Maca tastes just like kind of vanilla. It tastes really good. I made some phenomenal carrot cake, guys. I'm going to go show you what's left of it here. Let me give this.
It's pretty much gone. So if you're like me, you're not going to let go of your sugar super easily. And I didn't let go of that sugar real easily, but I changed my ways. I definitely changed my ways. When we were thinking about cake, and I did go through a time where I had almost like zero sugar. And this year I wanted a birthday cake, and oh my gosh, did Mike come through with the best carrot cake. And I'm going to let him talk to you about the ingredients. And the best stuff is the frosting, the cream cheese frosting that he put a little organic maple syrup, and that is the best thing. Makes great coffee cake. Oh wow. Yeah, I just can't say enough about it. So it was awesome. I just love that about the way he can take things and put something together that's completely healthy. I didn't have any bad reactions like I might if I'm eating processed sugars. I was just able to enjoy it, not worry about it. And how many of us would love to do that? Like eat without those consequences. There is a way. There is a way. You might have to change the taste buds a little bit, because we really do need to get that yucky processed sugar out of our bodies. And if you go a couple months without sugar, your taste buds are going to change so much. You won't be able to take a bite of a candy bar without puking. I would really invite anybody to give that a shot. Just go without the sugar for a couple months and see if you can put down a whole candy bar. I bet you can't.
So yeah, what I did with that is, again, we buy everything in bulk. So we have, I don't even know how much. We have to go take an inventory again to see where we're at, because we have been going through a lot more because of the size of the dogs and how much they're eating. As you can see, there's Mr. Rama.
He's so handsome.
Rama. Say hi.
Hey, baby.
Say hi, Rama. So yeah, Rama is just so amazingly smart. But generally, when you look at it, you spend so much less when you do it yourself, and you know the food that you got is of a certain quality and grade. We really, and I love to eat out, but we just don't eat out anymore. Again, there's too much stuff being shed out there in the world to eat out. Turkey tail is something. This we actually got when Zeke, I know I put it somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
There it is.
There we go.
Now, slippery elm is good for the stomach, right?
Yes, it's good for your digestion. Yes.
Good for digestion, help you absorb better. Turkey tail, we got it when when we knew he had cancer, and we didn't even get to use it on him. He passed so fast. But it is something that's been found to inhibit cancer growth. So if you've been diagnosed with cancer or you have any suspicions, you might want to start taking turkey tail. You can put it again, you could put it in capsules, or you can just do like we do, and we just throw it in the shake and you don't even know it's in there. Mm-hmm. Other flavors dominate it. Boswellia.
Very, very good. Now, this is something that's very good for inflammation, extremely good for inflammation. We just can't say enough about it. So that's something that we all should have on hand. Like Mike takes it a lot for if his back isn't feeling too good, we go with boswellia, and that has a healing element to it. So all of these things, not only do they help relieve the symptoms, but they're going to have healing elements. I mean, what good is it if you have symptoms and you just slap something over it to kill the pain? Well, guess what? The problem is growing, continually growing inside of your body. So we want to be putting stuff in us like this lucuma powder.
Lucuma contains a lot of insoluble fiber, but also it has carotenoids, antioxidants, polyphenols, and it can help prevent cancer, heart disease, as well as diabetes.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, these things you want to definitely not be taking in the sugars, so these things can work. And many times, if you just cut the sugar, you will get so much better so fast. And it just leads me to believe that the controllers put that stuff out there just to keep us from being able to heal ourselves.
Absolutely. And so we'll end it right there, as that's about where it ended up cutting off. So hopefully you guys got something out of that. Again, juicing is so powerful, and juice fasts of 5 to 7 days are something that I've done, going back, like 35 years or so. And when Cindy mentioned my back, I went to an orthopedic surgeon after I had ruptured 2 discs, L5, L4. And, both that orthopedic doctor as well as my physical therapist at the time said, we know you've enjoyed an active lifestyle. You jog, you weight lift, you do all these, physical things. You're not going to be able to ever do those things anymore. And that was at like 29 years old. and that is totally wrong. Because I've done all those things and actually more than I had done previously. And I've been able to never get back surgery. And, it's been just a matter of, I think, good nutrition, keeping physically active, doing yoga and Qigong. And I also used an inversion table. Just simply put, just use gravity, and hang upside down. And that decompressed all the discs. And so over time, it got better. From time to time, like if we do some heavy moving like we did, and if you're sleeping not so well in some spots, anybody's back could give them issues. But again, the cures, real cures, are often right there in nature, and they're pretty simple. It doesn't take a chemist. It doesn't take, any sort of advanced degree in reality. It just takes a little lay knowledge. Learn for yourself. There are lay people that know way more about nutrition than their M period D period or D period R period, if you guys know what we mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, people who end up laid up at home actually have the time to go out and look and research, test and try, whereas, doctors or naturopaths are very, very good, but they're limited in the information they can bring in. So you are your best doctor. You are your own advocate. Do take care of yourself. Ask yourself questions. Find answers, but definitely look into all of these things because it can truly heal you. I mean, heal you from the core, and also take a look at your emotions, how much emotional healing needs to be done, because that's a huge, huge, huge element.
Absolutely. And just to clarify, when I did face Lyme disease, I went to a naturopath. I didn't go to an M period, D period. Because, again, what's that particular person going to do? They're going to look at things from a chemical perspective. They're going to meet with me for 10 minutes. When I went to a naturopath for Lyme's, we first talked for an hour and a half. An hour and a half. When do you get an hour and a half with an M period, D period? You don't typically, right? Because they're on quotas. You got to get in, out, go to the next one. They have quotas. They have literal quotas to maintain. where, and from a naturopath point of view, some of the first questions were, what's your mental state? How's family life? Do you like your job? When does your doctor ask you, do you like your job? Are you happy? They don't even consider the emotional aspects of things. In traditional Chinese medicine, again, I've studied Qigong and all that line of thinking. Most disease, if not all disease, besides stuff that comes from toxic exposure to certain toxins, is really emotions that are not processed and not purged because of their processing from the body. So if you're not asking and looking into a person's emotional state, you're not getting to the root of the problem. All you're doing is covering things up. You're just covering things up in a surface manner. You're not getting to the root of the problem. You're not really curing a damn thing. And that's just the whole way this society functions. This is the system that we are in. So, yeah, we can get to the root of the problem. We can actually purge ourselves of so much disease by simply recognizing that we are emotional beings. That's why, again, when somebody had said, and I made the comment, it's thought in many lines of thinking that God ultimately, source is love. And they were saying source is knowledge. Yeah, but whose knowledge? Because the knowledge on this planet is knowledge with a twisted, perverted dead end that leads to nowhere on purpose. And that's what we have. So we could memorize things all day long. We could get degree after degree, all these little, letters behind our name, which means that we've been good little robots. We've learned what they've wanted to tell us. We can spew it back to them. But do we really, really understand anything? True knowledge comes from within. And the only worthwhile knowledge is really from within. And even when you're listening to, great teachers out there, great gurus out there, they can only kind of give you a clue. You have to find your own path. You have to find your own way, because you are a unique aspect of source. And you see everything through your own unique lens. And that's beautiful, because that's the way God, true God, with a big G, source, intended.
Mm-hmm. Right. At best, other people can give you their understanding. They can give you their path. How did they do it? But ultimately we are here on our own individual path. A lot of changes are coming. We are waking up. So our emotions become really front and center. And all of our lives, we've been put in positions where we have to stifle our emotions because maybe they're not appropriate. But we need to take a look at that again, because there's a way to process emotions. If you just continue to stifle, that's what brings the buildup into the 3D body, is that stifling. So, write it down. Try to work with your emotions. Even if it's not societally correct, your emotions, that's when you want to write it down. You have to get them out. Accept yourself for yourself. Spend some time, because those emotions are begging for some attention. They want some healing. And when we spend time with that aspect of ourselves that we might not like, many times it's integrated and then it's released.
Absolutely. So, guys, thanks as always for your support on Patreon and Ko-Fi. Do check out Medicinal Foods. Lots of good stuff to boost the immune system there, too. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.